Let's jump in and see what happens.
So I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Live.
Well,
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, here comes the wee-woos, and why a radio station won't play Beyonce's new song, and boys and girls are now defined by law, and a new TikTok star has emerged. All this and much, much more will be discussed here on DeaconLive as we comb through your social media pages for the next 60 minutes or so of stuff you might have missed in the last 7 days. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Are you doing all right? I'm doing okay. It's Valentine's Day, and yes... Still dealing with that ick. I've got that. It's barely hanging on. That ick is barely hanging on. So happy Valentine's Day for everyone out there. My wife and I, we've been married. Actually, next month will be 10 years. Been together probably close to almost 20, maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong on the math on that, but no. 15 years. I think we've been together. 15 years. And, you know, Valentine's Day her birthday is so close to her. Valentine's Day is so close to her birthday, or vice versa, whatever it is. Her birthday's next week. So it's kind of like I lump everything together. You know, all right, we'll do a birthday dinner and a Valentine's Day dinner all in one. No, I get her a little thing, nothing fancy. We usually do king crab legs, you know, $100 or so for crab legs for Valentine's Day dinner, and then we'll go out to eat or something for her birthday. But I got her a little thing, got her a little stuffed little doggy, and because we just lost our last dog that we had here, so I got a little stuffed doggy just to, you know, so she had someone to ride in the car with her to and from work, and, you know, just a little friend, just a little reminder that I love her. Oh, I know. Isn't that great? Now, one thing that we did this weekend that was Super Bowl weekend, Super Bowl Sunday, this past Sunday, and my wife and I, we'd like to watch the Super Bowl. I was explaining to someone the other day, you know, well, what about the other games? And I don't watch the other games. Why not? It's a challenge, you know, watching them, you know, get good and beat this team and beat, you know what? I don't want to sit there and watch all the stuff leading up to the big game. I want to watch the good game. I want to watch, you know, the number one team play against the number one team on in their division, whatever it is, football, baseball, basketball, whatever. I don't want to sit there and watch all the games leading up to it. Baseball, Jesus Christ, how many games do they play in a year before they get to the final, the finale, the World Series? Is it like 182 games or something stupid like that? Am I going to watch 182 games just to see, you know, a 3-2 series or something, whatever the series is? No. And same thing with the Super Bowl. I want to watch the two best teams fight each other out, and then boom, I'm done. That's my football fix for the year, and I can go on to do something else a little bit more productive. I haven't wasted those Sundays for, 16, 19 weeks now? Christ, it gets longer and longer, and then everyone goes, oh, I'm so sad, football season's over. Now I've got absolutely nothing to do. No, you've got 6 to 8 months of stuff you can do now leading up to whenever football season starts, however that long that runs. Now, I know you guys are seeing the memes and stuff that are out there with, what's his name, Travis Kelce pushing on Andy Reid, and yelling at him and screaming at him. And everyone's like, oh, my God, you know, he's such a red flag for Taylor Swift. And I know everyone out there has beat this horse to death. But I was telling my wife, you know, I'm seeing all the memes and stuff, and she doesn't get into all the memes. She doesn't get into social network and stuff or all that. She's very, very focused on her career and riding horses and, you know, the stuff that we have here that affects us directly, not indirectly. But me, because of my job and the position that I have and the career I've chosen, I have to be on top of these things. So I'm like, are you seeing these memes, the Travis Kelce memes yelling at his coach and stuff? And she's like, no. So everyone's out there freaking out because, you know, that's an assault. That's this, that's that. And I was like, I was explaining to my wife, I said, look, the sports in general is a very, very high test thing. Okay. You know, it's an endurance of the human body to be better and win compared to someone else. It proves that you are better than someone. You are the number one of whatever you do, whatever sport you're in. And there's a lot of emotions that you put your blood, sweat, and tears, to use a terminology, into the sports, whatever sport you're playing. And Travis Kelce went up to his coach. If you haven't seen it before, I'm just filling you in for the 4 people that haven't seen it. My wife and 3 of her friends haven't seen this. He runs up to the coach and says, put me back in, coach. I'm ready to play. I don't want to be sitting on the sidelines. I can win. I can win. So everyone freaked out and stuff. And they said, that's not good for football. That's not good for Taylor Swift. That's not good for, it's all around not good. If you were to sit there and watch the way other players talk to each other during the game, outside of coach or whatever, you were like going, oh my God, this sport is so violent. This is a normal part of the sports. If everyone has to, as soon as they come off the field, go and sit down on the bench with their hands on and sit on their hands so they don't do anything, like good little boys and girls and good little children, it's going to be extremely boring. It's going to be not watchable. It's not going to be something, not that they're telling go out there and beat each other up. But Tom Brady, they asked Tom Brady, the GOAT, what he thought about the actual interaction between the two. And Tom Brady was on his website and he shared his reactions to it and said, hey, look, there always be a little family issues, on the sidelines. I don't mean, this is him talking. I don't mind seeing it because it's part of the things. It's a part of a lot of those things. And I'll get this out sooner or later. You're definitely not centered or balanced. You're in a meditative state at this point, is what Tom Brady's saying. And he says, you're fully determined to go out there and win. He also concluded by saying, so I think there's a lot of things that are said during the games that people should just let fly off their back or roll off their back. And if you haven't seen this video, don't forget, for every podcast we do have a matching video as well. Let's just do the video capture, the window capture on this one. So this is the actual segment where Travis Kelce came up and bumped the coach.
Fumble. Comes over to Andy. He goes, keep me in. What happened is, on the fumble, he was not in the game. Noah Gray went in, and he had to block.
So, and even the coach said, all right, go back to me now. Me. Oh, I didn't. Did I open it? No, I didn't. Oh, well, I'll figure that out. So what happened was, even the coach said something. And he basically said, let's see, there's right here, hold on. Getting all this fucking screwed up. Window capture. There we go. So when they asked Travis Kelce about what happened, this is what he said. Oh, fuck me. Come on.
What was the conversation about? Was
there
it?
were a few cameras.
I mean, was it? Hey, I need the ball. I can help us win. What was that about?
Man, it was. I'm gonna keep it between us unless my mic'd up tells the world. But I was just telling him how much I love him.
Yeah.
No, but for real though, I mean, that moment right there, that speaks to the team that we are. Is right. Everybody loves it. Everybody loves the game, wants to compete. And Coach Reed wants to compete.
Yeah.
If you watch out, you might get a little bit too. So I mean, that's just the type of mentality we've always had. And that's why we can win games like we won today.
So the coach actually came back and said, "Hey, look, he caught me off guard. I was not balanced. He bumped into me and caught me in a weird stance or whatever like that." And he said, "It's no big deal." And even like watching up to the kickoff, they sat down and talked to all the coaches and they talked to all the the star players and everything. And Andy Reid said in his interview while he's sitting there talking, I forget who he was talking to. I don't know their names. They don't put them on the bottom of the screen for me to memorize. He said in Travis Kelce's early career, he was a pistol. He was a firework. He was a bottle rocket. And he would fly off the handle at any time. Now that he's grown up and he's got a little bit more mature, he's had to, reel that back in. But he's still got that fight, that desire in him, which is good. That's what you want in a teammate and a player and all that. And it just came out. I don't want to say the worst came out, but that's what came out. Everyone's happy. Everyone's not mad at each other. It's just part of sports. It's just part of games. And everyone out there, especially all the Swiftie fans out there, were like, he's going to hit her and something's going to happen. Tay. Okay, well, we'll all get over that. All right, when we come back, these guys right here were just coming back from doing a little grocery shopping, and heard some fireworks. Or was it? So stick around. We'll dive into that story when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video over on YouTube as well. You can see me here in the studio, and all the articles and all the videos that we play here during the podcast. You can see those in real time over at the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe over there. It's just another media for you to enjoy the podcast, which is Deacon Live. And get yourself something for free over on the website. That's Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live and all the other different podcasts that are broadcast out of this studio. Get yourself something for free over there. Click on the little button, pick out what you want, and we'll mail it out to you as well. Now, TikTok videos, my wife, it's TikTok is TikTok. Everyone watches TikTok for whatever reason. I watch it because a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, I'll see the story first on TikTok and then go, okay, what's with that story? And then dive back in, backwards, investigate what's happening here. So these two guys, and let's see, we'll go to camera 4 here in just one sec. Now's a great chance to go over to YouTube and watch this. So these two guys are just coming back, and they got a little Ring camera there, which is great. If you got a Ring camera, I highly recommend you get them a Ring or Nest or whatever cameras are out there, because they capture a lot of stuff. And these guys were just coming back from grocery shopping, and they're just sitting there shooting the shit and stuff, and literally someone starts shooting. And I guess it's a common practice that these two gentlemen hear the shooting, and just kind of react to it. Now, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town called Marshville, and we have shootings all the time. And I say shootings, we are rural. We have 2,500 people in a 2 square mile. We've got people that are cleaning their guns, and I say cleaning their guns. They're out there practicing and their target shooting all the time. So it's nothing on a Saturday or Sunday to hear pop, 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 in the far distance, because there's a lot of people who own acreage, and you're allowed to shoot guns on your property. We have 22 some odd acres here. We've done it before. We got targets sitting up in the backside of the property. Our property goes down at a 7-degree pitch and then kicks back up. So there's no houses behind us. So if a stray bullet goes flying, it literally will go into the ground on the 7-degree pitch back up on the backside of the property. So we don't worry about that stuff. But these guys here, I guess they've heard gunshots in their neighborhood. Not that they're common in this video, but they're common enough to where they just kind of laugh it off, like, all right, well, you guys have done it now, because we know what's going to happen next. So if you want to watch this video, jump on over to YouTube, and we'll play this so you can see it in real time as we're talking about it here. So here we go. This is from Jacob Ray, and it's called The Wee Woos. So here we go. Let's turn this up so everyone can hear it, and we can all be friends. So here we go.
I told her, listen, you either have my $50.
These two guys they parked the car, and they're walking up the stepstones to get to the front door, and they're arguing about someone who owes them $50, or a woman or someone, a girlfriend that owes him $50. So here you go.
Listen, you either have my $50, or we're gonna tell everybody.
There's a gunshot.
Miss me, bitch!
You missed me, bitch!
Well, I can't wait to move. Now you're gonna stir up all the wee woos. Here come all the wee woos now. Thank you, goodness.
Here come all the wee woos. So 20 minutes later, they're out on the front driveway, and they're doing like the wacky flailing two guys, and they're doing like the wave back and forth as the wee woos come by. So here come the wee woos. Wee woo, wee woo. They're having a good time doing that. So the wee woos are out there. And so they heard the gunshots, and the one guy goes, yo, you missed me. You missed me, bitch. Now you done it, and you're bringing out the wee-woos. And they're out front, waving the wee-woos by. Now, this young lady right here actually got in a wee-woo car and took off. In Marion County, Florida, 3 people are dead, and another is hospitalized after a Marion County sheriff's officer said a woman stole his police patrol car, led deputies on a high-speed chase, and then caused a crash. The sheriff's office... Let me switch back to one. There's a video with this, which is incredible video. So we'll play this here in just one sec. So the sheriff's office deputies were initially called to the Forest Plaza off of Highway 40 in Silver Springs for a report of a suspicious incident. Someone told dispatchers that a woman was trying to steal an elderly lady's car, and the woman working at the China King said at the plaza said that she also witnessed the woman trying to break into the cars as well. Deputies drove out to try to help, But things went awry almost immediately. The body camera video shows the moment a sheriff's officer says that the 33-year-old Kendra Boone climbed through the passenger side door of the patrol car. Now, I know our cars here. My wife's got an Audi and I've got a Chevy Silverado. You can program it to where if you unlock your doors, it only unlocks your door. My wife does it all the time because she has to go out to a parking lot, where she works and stuff. And when she unlocks her car, she doesn't want someone sneaking in the other side. So it's kind of a safety thing. I don't know why the officer's patrol car, and it's one of those SUV, like a Durango patrol car, why the other side was unlocked. Because he just got out of the vehicle, and I don't think all the doors unlock when you get out of the vehicle. So I'm going to switch to camera 4, and you can watch this report here from Fox 35 after this commercial. Here's a video.
Allegedly stole a deputy's cruiser and caused a deadly crash.
And that woman was going more than 100 miles per hour when that crash happened. The woman who stole the cruiser died, along with 2 other innocent people in that other vehicle. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Luann Sorrell.
And I'm John Brown. Another person still fighting for their life in the hospital. And Fox 35's Marie Ettinger is live in Ocala tonight. So Marie, the sheriff is really fired up about this.
Yeah, he sure was, and he had some strong words. You'll hear from him in just a bit, but I want to mention he was not the only one fired up. I talked with several people who were in the plaza where this all originally happened. They told me they saw a woman trying to break into cars, and the sheriff's office says that's why they were originally called out. They said there was a woman trying to steal a car from an elderly lady, but it turns out it was a deputy who wound up with his car stolen in the end.
Walk over to the back.
So she's on the passenger side, and he walks around to go talk to her.
Body camera video shows the moment the Marion County Sheriff's Office says 33-year-old Kendra Boone climbed in through the passenger side of the deputy's patrol car.
And you saw how fast that happened. I don't care. Even my 34 years of experience, that would have happened to me.
And then he can't get it back into his car. That's the funny part.
In the driver's seat.
Stop.
Pedal to the metal.
There she goes.
Another deputy after her.
And it was like insane.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
She took off down Highway 40 with the sound of speeding cars and sirens drawing people out from shops along the way.
It was a scary experience because in my thought, you just don't know what's going on at that point.
The sheriff's office says she was careening down the road at over 100 miles an hour.
Whoa.
Eventually slamming into a pickup, killing 2 of the 3 people inside and herself.
Oh, there is nothing left of that car. That patrol car, there is nothing left of that car. The roof's gone. It looks like they probably had to get the jaws of life. That whole car is completely total. 100 miles an hour. Slammed into another truck. And let me just go back to Mina. Slammed into another truck, a GMC truck. Killing 2 people, a 78-year-old woman or a 78-year-old man and his 70-year-old or 75-year-old partner, and then someone else is in critical condition, the third person in that truck. So the older people died, the driver who stole the car died, and there's one in critical condition. And just like that. And who is to know? I mean, I always think about I always put Final Destination type, things fall into place in certain orders, and then the outcome is something totally way over here. Like these 3 people jumped in the truck to go. They're from South Carolina. They're in, Silver Springs, Florida, probably on vacation or something. And something that happens 10 miles away, this woman jumps into this police cruiser, takes off 100 miles an hour, careening, that was the term they used, careening through traffic, and then does a U-turn, spins around and comes back around and builds up speed again and smashes right into this vehicle. And can you imagine being in the other vehicle, the trunk, and you're seeing a police cruiser coming at you, and in your mind, you're like going, oh, this is a police cruiser. I should just kind of maybe move out of the way or, get off to the side. And hey, move, turn. And, not knowing that the woman in the car stole the police cruiser, smashed right in. Horrible story. So you'll see more on that in your news feed as well. All right, when we come back, Dolly Parton turned 78, and she had drunk karaoke happen, and she's not mad. So stick around. We'll dive into that story when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Got a little scratchy in my backseat. I know, wash my ass. No, it's like right on my tailbone. I've got flannels on, and I think there's a tag or something. Tickling my butthole. Only for you guys. Only for you guys. All right, here we go. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We'd love to hear from you. You can be podcast famous. You can be right here in the studio alongside of us. And the way you do that is if you got a device, wherever device you're listening to us on, whether it be your phone, your computer, tablet, or tablet. If you got a microphone on, excuse me, there I got the egg again. If you've got a microphone on that device that you're listening to us on, you can be podcast famous. And the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live and all the other fine programming that comes out of this studio. At the bottom of the page is a little blue tab that says Be Heard. And it's got a little microphone right next to a little icon. If you click on that, opens up a little screen. You put your email address in there, and you can have a fake name if you want, and speak right into it. You can talk up to a minute and a half, if not 3 minutes long. Keep it short, though. I'm on a time schedule here. I don't have time to sit here and listen to your whole biographical story. And if you want to ask us a question or say anything to us, whether I got something right, whether I got something wrong, which is rare, but if you just want to be famous as well, you can say whatever you want. I've had people sit there and go, we love the show, we hate the show, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. I got big shoulders. I can take it all. But we'd love to hear from you and take all what you have to say and put it on the air. That's the Be Heard section over at Prophet Radio. Now, spring break. We haven't thought about spring break in a while. We're sitting here in the middle of February. Actually, today is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to all the Valentines out there. But we have been, my wife and I have been to Mexico, and the spring break spot of the world. You know, if you ask anyone, spring break, they always go Cancun. If you don't know where Cancun is, you've got the whole entire country of Mexico. And I think it's 5 miles offshore is Cancun. It's an island. A lot of people don't know it's an island. It's not like on the main part of the main land. It's an island, Cancun Island. And right now, arrests have been made in Cancun after 5 dismembered bodies have been found in a taxi and 3 other victims dumped in a shallow grave. I know the cartel and the drug trade and all that over there is horrible. When my wife and I were over there, they had armed guards standing out front of each hotel to make sure that who's going in and who's going out. That's fine for the front of the hotel. What about the sides and the back? You know, because we're all on the beach. They could come right up on the shore and red dawn our ass. Prosecutors said that Monday they've arrested 6 members of a drug gang at a Mexican resort in Cancun that allegedly killed and hacked up 5 people with a machete and dumped 3 other victims in a shallow grave. Authorities said that the 5 dismembered bodies were found inside a taxi on January 29th, and the 3 bodies were later found in the grave, which one has been identified. The gang, which prosecutors also engaged in extortion, was protected by the network of motorcycle taxis and minors who acted as lookouts. Authorities said 2 minors were arrested in addition to the 6 alleged gang members. Authorities announced the arrest of 23 people as well, charged with operating a fake tourist agency that served as a cover cover for drug sales in Cancun. Suspects operated a call center in which they offered sports equipment, tour packages to tourists, but then failed to deliver on them. On the second floor, they had a complex operation in which the drug deals were allegedly made over the phone and delivered by motorcycle. Authorities conducted the search and property, allegedly found marijuana, methamphetamine, cell phones, bank cards, laptops, and 7 motorcycles. So be careful if you're traveling abroad and you go to Cancun, man. I know when we were there, and I think, what year were we there? I think 2012, 13, somewhere around there, maybe 11. I don't know. All the dates get meshed after a certain time in your life. But we were there, and they said, oh, yeah, be careful on the beaches and stuff. You don't want to go too far down that beach there, and you don't want to go too far down the beach right there. And our hotel was right on the beach. So it was nice, but that's because there's no rules. It is wild, wild west out there with the cartel bills, you know, they got everyone in their pockets, just like the modern mob scenes that you see on TV. Just like them. Really? Yeah. And just like that, Dolly Parton turns 78. I know. What a weird transition, right? So the Grand Ole Opry had a celebration for Dolly Parton, who turned 78 years old. And one of the people that they had to pay tribute to Dolly Parton was Elle King. Now, if you don't know who Elle King is, she is the daughter of Rob Schneider. And she's the one who sings. I play the song, but I'm going to get flagged on YouTube, so I don't want to do that. I'll sing it for you. It's that X's and O's song. And done and whoa, X's and O's. That's the best I can do. So you're going to have to figure the song out from there. Put it on Shazam, see if they can figure it out. But here she is. Elle King was up on stage, and she was like the second performer to be to talk, to introduce and do a tribute to Dolly Parton, and she is Shitface Hammer. Now, I'm going to switch the camera forward so you can see this video in real time as we're talking about it here. Here we go. Here's Elle King. This is exactly what happened. Now, I know this is old news, but Dolly Parton has responded on what actually she felt and what she thought about Elle King's performance. So here she is.
I'll tell you one thing more. Hi, my name is Elle King. I'm hammered.
I'm fucking hammered.
Elle King was drunk and maybe should have gone home. She was part of a Dolly Parton tribute on...
Go ahead and tell them I'm celebrating Dolly Parton.
The other band members are still looking around going, what the hell is she saying? The violinist is like going, is this girl real? is she?
With the bottle. I'll celebrate a birthday in one way or two.
Apparently there was some cursing as well from both Elle and the audience as some of them started to heckle.
You ain't getting your money back. I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing is true.
You ain't getting your money back, is what she said.
Because you ain't getting it.
They're yelling at her. They're heckling her. So they asked Dolly Parton. And, you know, Dolly Parton's just a good old Southern gal. And, you know, she probably does. And, God, man, 78 years old. I think she has a joke about she's got younger parts on her that are older than her boyfriend or younger than her boyfriend or something like that. Dolly Parton says that Elle King just had a little bit too much to drink and slurred profanity over at the old opera. Dolly Parton has nothing but real love for Elle King after the younger country star admitted to being hammered during the tribute in honor of Parton's 78th birthday. Dolly says, Elle is a really great artist. She's a great girl, and she's been doing, and you got to picture Dolly saying this, right? Let me switch back to camera because this is going to look weird, me talking about. There we go. She's been going through a lot of hard things lately. She just had a little bit too much to drink, Dolly Parton said. So let's just forgive and forget and move on because she felt worse than anybody ever could. You know, it's that next morning like, oh my God, what did I say last night? Dolly Parton tits. What? Oh my God. Did I tell the audience to fuck off? Oh, that's a winner. You know, she's rubbing her eyes. Elle King is like, oh, Jesus Christ. Well, this will go down in history. Because Dolly Parton only turned 78 once. Now, another story that's going on right now in country music. If you watch the Super Bowl, there's a commercial with not Dolly, I'm sorry, I got Dolly on my mind, with Beyoncé. The modern day Dolly Parton, right? Minus the Parton. She had a commercial trying to break the internet. And, you know, she does this. Nope, the internet's not broke. What about this? And what about this? And then the last scene you hear is she's up in a spaceship or something. And she's like, is it broke yet? And the guy goes, no. She's like, release the new song. Now, what she's talking about is she's gone country, Beyonce. It worked for Hootie. It worked for Nas X, but he went country. Now he's going back the other way. So she's dipping her toe in the swamp of country music with a new song that she's got called Texas Hold'em. But there's a country radio station in Oklahoma called KYKC has faced backlash by saying that they will not play her song. So, of course, what does everyone say? Oh, you don't want to play Beyonce's song because she's black. You don't want to play Beyonce's song because she's not country, but it is a country song in the terms of genre and stuff. And everyone's like, fans were outraged and they're sending memos to the station and blatant racism and discrimination. See how easily we jumped off of that onto this? And everyone's like going, without knowing exactly what actually happened, and they're saying, well, it's because she's black. It's because, she's not a country singer. It's because of this. No. What actually happened is, listen up, dummies. The general manager, Roger Harris, explained that KYKC is a country station. They are a small they broadcast, they barely have a 15,000 watt station. They barely broadcast to a 5 square mile area, which means the people, you play to your demographics. You're not going to put gangster hip hop on a popular radio station in the heart of, Oklahoma, because your audience isn't there. So what Roger Harris said, look, we play country music. We play classic country music. We play top 40 country music. Our station is not geared, our audience is not geared to break in new talent. That's not our job. That's not our shtick. That's what the program director does. We are also, this is a brand new song. We're not in the business of breaking in brand new songs. Now, granted, if Beyonce's song goes up on the charts, Texas Hold'em or what's the other one, 16 Stagecoach or something like that. If they start getting some traction on the charts, he said, by all means, we'll play her song, but we're not in the business of breaking in new artists. He's like, I'm not going to have, Billy John Jethro come up to me and say, I got a number one hit. No, he's like, that's not what we do. We know our lane. Our lane is stuff that's music that's already been established. Our audience doesn't want anything new. They might have a little bit of a Bible Belt over there. We don't want to scare them. We don't want to scare grandma. We don't want Dolly Parton and, Oak Ridge Boys, maybe a little Tim McGraw, a little Garth Brooks, stuff that's already been established. He even admitted some of the new artists that are coming out, like Jelly Roll. He's like, we don't even play Jelly Roll. Now, granted, he's got some songs out there because he was a rap artist gone country. He's got a couple songs out there that have creeped over to his station, but he, for the most part, and I say good for him. Good for him for sticking to his guns and saying, look, you guys have got this all wrong. This is what we are, and this is who we are. Now, how many other stations have, quote unquote, refused to play? Like in South Florida, you're not going to hear that. You're not going to hear Beyonce's song on a country station. You know why? Because they don't play country music in South Florida. So why are they picking? Why is it a thing that this radio station in Oklahoma, when you think Oklahoma, I think potatoes and dirt. That's all I think about in Oklahoma. And where the cattle reigns. Where the cattle is, I forget the song there. But they're making a big deal about it and pointing the fingers all at the radio station saying you won't play a black artist who plays country music, which is not true. So just think about it, guys. I mean, think about it. There's got to be more to the story. All right, guys, when we come back, are you familiar with Microwave Head? He's got some interesting stuff for you to take note of if you want those credence of everyday inspiration. And we'll dive into his story when we come back. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Sorry, I got to check on some stuff. Oh, where's my dad at? That's what I was looking for. He had a doctor's appointment this morning, so I wanted to make sure we have the... Oh, he's almost home. We have the Life 360. Where's that? There he is. See him with the glasses. We do that. I got to keep track of him. He had a doctor's appointment today. All right, you ready? Oh, I got to pull the articles. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? Well, we will give you something for free. But what you have to do for me is go over to Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live. Go over there where it says free swag, fill out that little form, pick out what you like there, and we'll send it out to you. It's not an email grab. It's just them saying thank you for listening to all the fine programming that comes out of the Prophet Radio studio. So pick that out. And while you're over there, you can be heard. You can be part of the show. You can be podcast famous. At the bottom of the page says be heard. Click on that. Speak right into the device that you're listening to us on, and it comes right to our inbox, and we'll play it on this podcast. If you get it in quick enough, we broadcast every Wednesday at noon. If you get it in quick enough, we'll play it on this podcast. If not, we'll play it on the very next podcast as well. And that's noon Eastern Standard Time, because we're in North Carolina, if you haven't figured that out by my accent. From Florida, living in North Carolina. So there we are. Now, in Georgia... In Georgia right now, educators are suing the school district over race LGBTQ classroom restrictions. Teachers are seeking relief from the vague education restrictions. So let's dive into what's going on over in Georgia. Georgia Association of Educators and two educators filed lawsuit on Tuesday against Cobb County Schools officials for alleged education censorship due to two bills that have restricted what the topics that teachers can tackle in the classroom. So there's two bills out there that they're having a problem with. The complaint argues that these are vague laws and pose continuing threat to the other teachers in the school district and harm the Cobb County students' ability to learn in a self-inclusive classrooms. So the first act or thing that was passed is the Protection Students First Act, which was passed in 2022, prohibits educators from espousing personal political beliefs concerning decisive concepts, which defined by a list of concepts regarding race, unconscious racial privilege, and unconsciousness bias, racial privilege, and the role of racism in American history. So that's the first act that was passed. The second thing that was passed was the Parents' Bill of Rights. This passed the same year, states that all parents' rights are reserved to the parents of a minor child in the state without obstruction or interference from the state or local government entity, including the right to direct the upbringing of moral or religious training of his or her minor child. Supporters of the bill argue that gives the parents more of a say of their child's education. We put the students first. We put the students and the parents first by keeping woke politics out of the classroom and off of the ball fields. Governor Brian Kemp said in 2022 after signing the bill. Critics say that these policies are too vague and impede the teacher's ability to touch on subjects or history that's related to race or LGBTQ community. Catherine Ryderly, that's her, one of the plaintiffs of the lawsuit, was an elementary school educator in the district for more than 10 years before she was fired in August 23. According to the lawsuit, the county used these policies to terminate Ryderly after she read "My Shadow is Purple." Watch that thing. During the termination hearing, she said that she chose the book because of its anti-bullying messages, to highlight that there was there were gender nonconforming students and other students with diverse identities in her schools who needed for acceptance were not being recognized or addressed, read the complaint. 3 members of the panels submitted findings to the school board against Riddle. So they say the school board's decision to fire me. Okay, so it gets on to her thing. So the plaintiffs, basically what they're doing, there's 2 rules that are out there, or 2 things that are passed. You got something to protect policies against the students, and then you've got the parents that can protect the students. So it's kind of like up in this air where, what do I teach? If I'm teaching to the students and I'm not worried about politics getting into that, I can't do that. But then the parents come in and go, no, we want you to teach this, but not this. So it's this whole conflict of interest as far as Both of the bills are a little too vague. They need to break it down and say, okay, you can teach A, B, and C, but they don't want to do that because each bill's pointing at the other one and say, no, you do it. No, you do it. No, we don't want to do it because that'll affect this. Well, we don't want to do it because that's going to affect this. And it's just round and round and round. No wonder people are out there beating themselves in the head and stealing cars and running around crazy because they don't know what's going on. And it's very difficult to get a straight answer out of those figures. Now, here's an answer right now that people have been, I don't know what side of the fence that you guys are on. I know what side of the fence I'm on, but I'm going to read this article and be as, I don't want to say non-biased because I'm very, very biased on this decision, this next article. So there's a new Women's Bill of Rights aims to legally define man and woman. Now, this has nothing to do with religion. That has nothing to do with politics. It's literally just for man and woman. All right, hear me out here. All right, are you listening? Did you hear what I just said? No religion is involved. No politics are involved. It's just man and woman, how they have to define it. Several states are considering legislation that would create the legal definition of man and woman based on their quote-unquote reproductive system. And I say quote-unquote reproductive system. It doesn't have the quotes on there, but this is how they're determining. The controversial proposed legislation dubbed by Republican lawmakers as the Women's Rights Bill now is seen in West Virginia, Iowa, Georgia, and other states has implications for the transgender community, which has been targeted over the conservative-backed restrictions nationwide. Critics argue that the restrictions definitions would lead governments to no longer legally recognize transgender people, leading to more discrimination, inaccurate identifications, and practices. Okay, I got that part, but listen to me. Proponents of the bill argue that the bills are intended to promote safety, privacy, and public data accuracy by defining sex under specific biological terms. Similar bills continue to spur heated discussions in the community hearings, and waves of criticism are coming out outside of that. So what does the bill actually say? The bill in West Virginia, Georgia, Iowa would legally define women and men based on whether they have or had or will have or would have. Did you get all that? Whether they had, will have, or would have a reproductive system that at some point produces, transports, and utilizes eggs or sperm for fertilization, respectively. So when they say have, had, and all that stuff, because there are, men will lose their testicles, whether it be cancer or something like that. Women will have hysterectomies based on, just themselves, if they've got, something going on with their ovaries and stuff. But whether they've had or have, meaning past tense. So if you get a total sex change, you had balls, and now you don't. You're not going to start producing eggs, and vice versa. So you had ovaries, and now you have a penis, but you're not going to start producing sperm. So it's whether you've, Jesus Christ, whether you've had, or variations thereof. It's where you started. The bill stated that exemptions can be made for the people who have intersex and have developmental or genetic disorders or differences in sex development. They have had a historical accident that disrupts their ability to have such a reproductive system. Okay, so with that line right there, that is a minor, small percentage of everyone in the United States, everyone in the world. Not, what is it, 8 billion, 9 billion people? I mean, you're talking a 0.0001% of people being born that have some kind of historical accident or development developmental or genetic disorder in difference of sex development. It's not, you got a graduating class of 600 people, 50 of them aren't, this way. They have had some kind of, they're fine. They're fine. Let's put it that way. They're fine. So they're defining it as whether you've had a penis or whether you had ovaries, reproductive organs. What you do after the fact, you can mutilate your whole entire body and be a eunuch for all they care. But when it was when you're born, that's what they determine as man or female or whatever. So that's where they're going with that. I know. The more I talk about it, I'm like, oh, man, it just sounds so bad when you say it because, I was always brought up, the boys knew who the boys were, the girls knew who the girls were, the boys knew who the girls were, and the girls knew who the boys were. That's it. I mean, that's the way I was brought up. Now, of course, I had, heavy Christian background, political background, not really as much as far as getting into gender and stuff. I want my political office to make sure that the potholes are filled in and the trash is picked up. That's all I care about. Now, if you haven't seen this guy right here, I've seen him on, this is an Instagram. I'm going to switch the camera for here in just one sec. So if you're watching this over on YouTube, you're going to see this video in just one sec. This gentleman right here, from the account Make the Hood Smile, he's riding a little, it looks like a 50cc little motorcycle, and he's got a fucking microwave on his head. And when I say a microwave on his head, he's cut out the bottom of a microwave, and he's attached a helmet inside the microwave so he can put his head through the microwave and it'll fit firmly on his head. And he looks out the glass of the microwave to ride around on this motorcycle. And what he does is he gives like these inspiration thoughts, but in like a from the hood style. So I'm going to switch to camera 4 now so you can see this guy in real time. And every video starts out the same. It's a shot of a city street, lots of traffic and stuff. And he comes squirreling down on his little 50cc motorcycle, little like motocross motorcycle, slams on his brake, opens up the microwave, and starts talking, and then starts spitting knowledge, as what the kids say, right? So here he comes right here in this video. Am I up? Yeah, I'm up. So here we go. Oh. Hold on, I gotta make sure I got the right one up. So here he comes.
If you're serious about change, just know you're going to go through.
He's still got the microwave on his head, and he's talking with the door open, standing on this little motorcycle with the number 4 on the front of it. So here he goes.
Some uncomfortable situations. Stop trying to dodge the process, because in the long run, it's going to make you better. And don't forget that shit, you heard?
I heard. Then he kicks his head over, slams the door, and takes off. He's got like a little thing on the little reflective thing. All right. Slow down there. Let's see if I can play one of these other ones. Let's go to his website. All right, so here's another one that he's got going on here. So here he goes. Here he goes.
You know what's the biggest flex? Forgiving a motherfucker that don't deserve to be forgiven.
Slams the door. Takes off. There he goes. One more. Here we go. One more.
Damn, man, it's fucking.
Hold on. Oh, I already seen that one. Here he comes.
Don't worry. They gonna try to come back around. Trying to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But guess what, though?
What?
Them doors is already closed. And they not opening back up.
Right.
So don't forget that shit, you heard?
I heard. Closes the door, takes off. So there you go. But this is Make the Hood Smile is his Instagram account. Let me go back to camera 1. And just he's preaching just little messages, little thoughts, don't look both ways for crossing the street. And he's got a fucking microwave on his head to do it. So it's, if you've seen him out there, that's what he's doing. All right, guys, when we come back, I like doing karaoke. My wife loves karaoke. I do it okay. I like going and listening. It's like seeing a knockoff band play live type thing. My wife really loves it, but this guy right here, little old man has a little karaoke business and gets totally pissed off at these two kids. And we'll dive into his story when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks. And the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com. At the top of the page, it says social contacts. You can see all the stuff that links us to you to us as well. You can see us on TikTok. You can see us on Instagram. You can see us on Facebook. Make sure you like and subscribe over there to all those pages as well, and you can be part of the show. And while you're over there and you want to be podcast famous, it says be heard at the very bottom of the Prophet Radio website. Opens up a microphone on your device. You can be anonymous if you want. That's fine. Just speak right into it. Comes right to our inbox. We broadcast every Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. So if you get it in prior to that, we'll play it on the very next podcast. If not, you have to wait till next week. And get yourself something for free over there. Prophet Radio saying thank you for listening to all the fine programming and everything that's brought to you out of this Prophet Radio studio. You can see all the different podcasts and stuff. And we'll send you out some, we got magnets, some stickers, a whole bunch of things out there. So check it out. If you like it, fill it out. We'll send it out to you. Now, Super Bowl, well, today's Valentine's Day to start there. So happy Valentine's Day for everyone. And then this past Sunday was Super Bowl Sunday. Now, one of the things I was thinking about is during the whole entire, where they cut what they call B-roll for those in the biz. You know, after the play, they'll pan to the audience, they'll pan to do this. And it just popped in my head. And like I said, I only watch one game a year, and that's the Super Bowl, because I want to see the best of the best play. I don't want to see the shitty team play against a good team, because then you just feel bad for that shitty team later on. I want to see the best of the best. You know, that way I'm non-biased, anything like that. You two fight it out. Whoever wins, wins. And as the camera's going around, you see where they go, oh, look, there's Jay-Z and Beyonce. Oh, and there's, Paul Rudd and his son. And there's, this person and that person. You know what I didn't see one time? Now, granted, I did dip out of the room a couple times while we were watching it, but I didn't see a whole lot of emphasis on, the cheerleaders. You know how you used to, back in the old days, back in my time, you'd sit there and the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, they were always a big thing. They had the prettiest girls and the blondest hair and the biggest tits and all that stuff. And every cut, every break, every timeout, whatever it was, they would sit there and show the cheerleaders. I didn't see a single shot of the cheerleaders. And the reason why I bring this up is because I started thinking about that. I'm going, well, why wouldn't they show the cheerleaders? Is it because, we sexualize them? We don't want to, sexualize these women, and people will complain or anything, something like that. And then, but we want to show that there's, hey, look, it's not just a white-black sporting event, because you've got, like I said, Jay-Z and Paul Rudd, and those are the two people that just stick in my head. I'm sure there's millions of other people over there. Shaq was there. Of course, Taylor Swift was there. Blake Lively. I mean, just the list goes on and on of all the different people that were there at the Super Bowl game. But every time they went to a cut, they said, look at all these people. Look at all these entertainers, all these actors, all these people that's, hey, if they like it, you should like this too, type deal. Which in your mind, in the backside of your mind goes, well, if they're watching it, why am I not watching more of this? That type deal. Hey, Mikey, he likes it. But it just stuck in my mind where it was I didn't see any of the cheerleaders. I didn't see any of the stuff. You barely saw any of the fans. You see maybe one or two shots of the fans doing, no, we're number one. We're number one. And you get, a couple of those. They did these corny Bud Light promotions where they had a whole line of people and they were drinking these big old friggin' oil cans of friggin' Bud Lights, and none of them were drinking them. And hear me out here. And what's the deal with the one lady with the fuzzy hat and the sparkling dress and the football purse? I just saw her. I have no idea who she is. If you guys know who she is, let me know. go over to Prophet Radio. Tell me in the Be Heard section. Speak right into it, and we'll play it on the very next podcast. I didn't know. They kept showing her for some reason. I have no idea who she is. And she's an older lady. Like, you could tell, like, her mascara or her eyeliner is all brittle and stuff. It's, like, dropping on her cheeks. But she had, like, a big, like, fuzzy, hairy hat on, like the Russians wear. And she had this big red sparkly dress on, and then she had a football purse that was all like bedazzled and stuff. So I don't know who she was. But then you say, okay, they didn't show like the cheerleaders and stuff, but they had the Black National Anthem. Now, I'm not going to sit here and dissect, Black National Anthem, American the Beautiful, all that stuff. I don't care. I don't care. If it happened, it happened. Great. If it's just one more thing to make everyone happy, fine, do it. And then people go, well, what about the Latin, the Latin theme? Might be a little poppier, might be a little dancier if you think about that. Oh, what about the Asian one? Well, that'll be a little weird. And then they go, well, I had actually one guy goes, what about the white American anthem? And I go, I think that's pretty much the national anthem. And that's the problem that everyone was having. That's why they're dealing during the national anthem, because they feel they're not represented. But I said, this is what I said. I said, is it wrong for me during the Black National Anthem? And I'm just throwing it out there. I could care less who sings the song. That's fine. Beautiful song, sung very well. Is it wrong for me to do the Chiefs chop, the oh, during the Black National Anthem? That's the only thing I was like, well, am I wrong doing this? If they're wrong doing that down there, what battle are you fighting here? I just threw it out there so people want to turn around and look at themselves and go, oh yeah, what? Why aren't we fighting that? The Chiefs. No, the Chiefs are our teams. We don't care about the Native Americans, that type of stuff. So I just threw it out there just to say, hey, look, pick your battles. What are you complaining about when you're what's the old adage where if you're pointing a finger at you got 3 pointing back at someone else, or pointing a finger at someone, you got 3 pointing back at you, whatever that thing is. So I just wanted everyone to kind of just sit back and just say, just relax, let them do it. No, you let them do it, it's going to go downhill, and all of a sudden it's going to be this and that. All right, there. Hank Hill, relax, it's football. Now, as you guys know, I told you my wife and I are from Florida, born and raised in Orlando, Florida, my wife as well. And when we were living down there, we had a little bit more of a social life than we do out here. Nothing wrong with what we have going on here. We have we worked hard and long and bought this property, and this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to have 22 some odd acres. We wanted to have horses. We wanted to have all this farm stuff. So we've been doing it. But we always talk about back in the day, it was nothing for us to jump in the car and run down to the local pub or whatever and get some hot wings or some poppers or something like that and watch karaoke, because it's a good time. Watching karaoke, good or bad, it's always a good time. And my wife, she can sing. She says she can't. She can sing. Now, I don't know how well. It's kind of like an instrument. If you don't use it all the time, it kind of gets a little rusty, but she can sing. She can carry a note. And one of the things that she would sing is like Reba McEntire songs. Speaking of national anthem, by the way. And she would kill it up on stage. And people were like, oh my God, she should have a record deal, that type stuff. And I'm like, yeah. I'm her manager. We'll get into the record deals later. But no, there is one thing that because she listens to the podcast too. There's one instance where she was a little to the wind, and the whole song Fancy, she dropped that note real low. I don't know what she was thinking, but she goes, here's one chance, Fancy, let me down. So I just threw that out there so she would laugh and throw something at me across the table, because we usually listen to this while we're having dinner or something. I don't know. But this guy right here, this older gentleman, has his own little karaoke business. Now, he's probably pushing 70 years old. I got to switch cameras here so we can see it and we can all be friends. He's probably pushing 70 years old. And I look at him and you go, why would a 70-year-old have a karaoke business? Think of the progression there. So if he's 70, that means 20 years ago, he was probably 50. Well, he was 50 if you do the math there. And what was going on 20 years ago? Raves and nightclubs and stuff like that. And maybe he was a DJ, a local DJ. and, you know, cutting the records and doing all that stuff. And then you go, okay, what was happening 20 years prior to that? 20 years prior to that, you start getting into like the roller skating era. And now he's 30. And he was probably a roller skating rink DJ. So this has probably been in his blood for a long time. Maybe a strip club DJ now and then when times are tough. But I mean, think about this guy who's 70 years old and he's doing a karaoke thing only because he's probably been doing it since the early 70s and 80s in some form or fashion. And then these kids get up there. Tom and Charlie, you're up next. So Tom and Charlie get up there. And they're like, oh, we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. And Tom and Charlie are young guys. I want to make sure that, is this going to be okay? Let me switch to camera 4. So Tom and Charlie get up there and they start singing and they're thinking they're going to be a riot. So they're sitting up there with the microphone and they've got the television screen with the words. You know how karaoke is. If you don't know what it is, get it out a little bit more, right? And the kids start singing. And this is how it goes down.
That's it. Bye, everybody. Nobody's going to holler at my microphone. I'm sorry.
So it was a normal song, and these two kids get up there, and they're going to sing it like a death metal song. And this old guy jumps up and goes, that's it. We're out of here. I'm out of here. You're not going to sit here and yell into my microphones and blow my speakers out. Let's go on with more of what he says.
Blow my speakers out.
False.
Laugh. It's funny. Laugh.
Laugh.
It's funny. All right. Good night, everybody. I'm not going to have my equipment blow. No reason to do that. No reason to do that.
And someone's like sitting at the table a little further back filming this thing. And it's like, oh, man, I'm sorry.
Dude, when did you say there were rules?
Yeah, where are the rules at?
Common sense. You don't scream into a microphone. I just see people that scream into their microphone. It's time for me to go.
There's a wall of rules over there.
Yeah, fuck me so. Yeah, you don't get it. It's third part. It's funny. Everybody laugh. It's funny.
He's pissed.
Everybody laugh. It's funny. Laugh.
All right, let me say something. All right, laugh. Let me finish this out and then I'll say something.
How much money I made in my tip jar? $13.
$13 in my tip jar.
5 hours. $13. And these guys think it's funny.
So he goes, I got $13 in my tip jar. I'm going to go back to camera. I know I was picking my nose there. I got $13 in my tip jar for 5 hours. Well, hold on, buddy. You are getting whatever your set rate is. So if you've been up there for 5 hours and you lowball yourself, I would charge at least $200. Listen to me. I would charge at least $250. Figure $25 an hour if you've been doing it for a while and you got some kind of thing behind you. Maybe $150 for 5 hours. $150. You have a good time in whatever tips you make and so on and so forth. But if you've got a karaoke machine, you do not bring out your best microphones. You bring out the best speakers and stuff, but you don't bring out the best microphones. Or you try not to. At least in my experience, you don't bring out, what is it? The Shure CB or SB95 that's like $3,000. You bring out the little Shure one that looks like an ice cream cone and you give that to the kids and let them play on that. But I mean, if they damage your stuff, they damage your stuff, man. That's part of having a business. That's part of having insurance. But yes, the kids were kind of a dick. They were trying to make a scene saying we're going to do Lionel Richie and, I know it sounds sort of, but I gotta take the pain. No, stop. That's it. I'm out. Now, I know if you know what that song is, I have another thing for you if you can figure out what song this is. Now, this is the latest TikTok superstar. I'm going to call him a superstar. And his name is... What's his name? I got to... it's a video. His name is... It looks like Magic Mike, but it's not spelled like Magic Mike. It's M-I-Y-A-G-I Mike 41. Now, this guy right here loves to sing really good, sort of. I use that term loosely. He loves to sing, and he sings all the time on TikTok, and he's got over 1 million some odd followers just because of the way he sings. So here we go. Tell me what song this is from Maya Aggie Mike. I'm going to call him Mike 41. Mike 41. Figure out what song this is. Here we go. 2, 3, 4.
Got my hair and I cruise on back home. Put the abuse in a blender. Testing it will render. I wasn't good petition to help me hang on.
Here he goes. Bring it home.
Racing away again in my Greenville.
Close enough.
Searching for my Lord's sacred soul.
Take it away.
Some people claim now there's a woman to blame, and I know.
He knows.
It's my damn fault.
It is Mike 41. Now, if you don't know, if you're not watching this on the video here, Mike 41, he has Down syndrome. He's a big guy. He's got a karaoke machine. He's got one of the mics that I said that you give to like the kids so they can't mess it up. He's got Down syndrome. He's got his hair parted on the side, greased down. He's got a yellow shirt on with Donkey Kong on it, eating bananas. And he has made a killing doing these karaoke songs for TikTok. He's having a good old time, man. He's up there enjoying himself. I hope everyone treats Mike 41 nice out there. And it's MIYAGI Mike 41. And make sure you go over there and give him some props and some support. He's out there belting. He's probably in his mom's basement, or it looks like, yeah, it's a basement because of the drop ceiling there. Lives with his mom and dad. They're taking care of him, and he's living the life singing Margaritaville. So there you go. Check him out as well. Take it away. Wrap it up. So there he goes there. He's doing good. He's doing good out there, and more props to him. I wish I had the confidence to do that, but I don't. I wish I could, but I don't. So, all right, guys, on that note, we're going to let you get back to doing what you got to do. Make sure you follow us on your YouTube channel. Make sure you follow us on TikTok. You'll see me out there maybe doing some karaoke as well. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. And all the stuff that links us to you and you to us can be found over at Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com. And you can be podcast famous at the bottom of the page. Hit Be Heard. We'd love to hear from you as well. Broadcasting every Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. So get it in soon and get it in often. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you get back to doing what you got to do. My name is the Deacon saying good night and good night.
Wait. Come back.
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.
Wasted away again in Señoritaville. Great.